Hey there, chess enjoyers! Today we will together continue to explore the exciting chess world, or to be more specific, the role of chess pieces in the beautiful and stunning game of chess. Today I will show and explain you the role of the most important piece, which is the king, that for white starts when the game begins on e1, and for the black army here on e8. Doesn't matter if it's just the debut or also the middle game or already the end game of a chess match, the king can always get under attack, and well, you always have to pay attention that you just don't lose the game, because well, if the king gets checkmated, you have lost the game. It's pretty simple. Especially his safety plays a very big role in chess. But to explain you and familiarize you a bit more and a bit better with the role of the king, we have to distinguish between different kinds of kings in the game. I'm not talking about the color, so distinguishing between the black and the white king, which would be a bit useless actually, but rather about, for example, the king in the center of the chessboard that hasn't castled yet, or a king that just does not want to castle, of course, attacks on the king when both players castled on the same side and wing of the chessboard, and of course the reverse of this, so when both players castled on different wings of the chessboard. So let's not waste time and just start with the king in the center. So at the beginning of every chess match, the game, board, or the setup looks like this. And we can see that the king hasn't castled yet and is standing right here in the center of the chessboard, where he hasn't that much safety yet. But leaving the king in the center of the chessboard, like here black does, is not only bad because it attracts attacks from your opponent, but also because it's harder for you to bring out your rooks out here from the corner of the board. To visualize and show you this a bit better, let's just quickly take a look at an example. The position that you can see right now on the chessboard is from a game played in 1970 in West Germany. Here white starts with the move knight to g5, a very strong move because it instantly attacks the black pawn on f7 and simultaneously the black pawn here on h7, not allowing black to do either the short castling, so to castle kingside, but also they forbid or restrict a bit black to do the long castling here, because in both of the cases black would lose either the f7 pawn or also here the h7 pawn. Therefore black continues with pawn to h6 with the intention to kick back our knight on g5. White answered in 1970 with queen to h5, pinning the black pawn here on h6 and not allowing him to capture our knight on g5, because if he would and do it like this, white could capture black's rook here on h8. So therefore this would be a very big mistake. Black plays pawn to g6 because here's also another threat. White could capture with the queen the pawn on f7. So black plays pawn to g6, white escapes with the queen on h4, on which black continued in West Germany here with the move knight to f5. After another 7 moves, the position on the chessboard looked like this, and black resigned the game because of the following forced checkmate after 2 moves. White, who didn't allow his opponent to do the castling on any side of the chessboard, so neither the long castling and also not the short castling, could win the game or secure the win after completely restricting his opponent's movement on the whole chessboard. So to sum this up real quick, a king that hasn't castled yet, or even is restricted to castle, is often very attractive for attacks from his opponent, and in some positions and games you could even say that he is weak. Okay, so now let's continue with the role of the very important king in positions where both of the chess players, so the white player and the player who plays the black chess pieces, have castled on the same side or on the same wing of the board. Usually a position like this is created when the opponent's chess pieces and forces are located on the other wing of the board, so on the other side, and of course after a castling, the king is in most of the cases defended by a row of pawns, how you can see it here, by a black and also here on the other side of the chessboard for white, and they work a bit like a shield for the black king or also for the white king. So therefore, we have to crush this shield by either sacrificing pieces or just by working together with our pieces, because, well, then it's way easier to attack the king and to crush this shield. Let's just again take a look at an example where this is shown perfectly. Here in this position, white plays bishop to f6, just sacrificing his bishop to the opponent's chess pieces. And here this is a tactical sacrifice, because it would be definitely a big mistake for black to just blindly capture our bishop here on f6 and destroying this pawn shield. Because after rook to g4, we could just win the opponent's queen like this. If black would not capture our bishop here on f6 and just play something useless, like for example rook to b8, we could force checkmate with rook to g4, and if our opponent would play either pawn to h6 or pawn to h5, trying to create like an escape square for his king on the h file of the chessboard, we could also either checkmate him in the following moves or win material. If you want to understand exactly why and you don't see it here, just ask me down there in the comments and I will try to explain it to you. Therefore, black answers with rook from f8 to c8, also creating this escape square here for the black king. But we don't stop pressuring our opponent, and therefore we play queen to e5, just sacrificing our rook here on c4 to our opponent's rook on c8. But it would be definitely a big mistake here to capture it, because this was a tactical sacrifice. If you want to see and find out why exactly, just look here. You can stop the video now and check out why if you're interested. But it would be a mistake, and therefore black played rook to c5, attacking our queen here on e5. We escape with the queen on g3, threatening with checkmate here on g7 again. Therefore, now pawn to g6 by black. We with our rook capture the black knight here on a4. Black plays queen to d3. We move with our rook here now on f1. Black plays rook from a8 to c8, now having this very strong attack. He has his queen here, two rooks on the c file, and so on and so on. We play rook to d4, defended by our knight here on f3, attacking the black queen here on d3, on which the queen escapes here like this on f5, and we play queen to f4. We can see all of the chess pieces are gathering now here for a big battle. But no, queen to c2 like this. Now three of black's most powerful chess pieces are all on the same file, the c file. And finally, queen to h6, threatening and basically forcing checkmate on the following move. So black gave up and re-signed the game here. We could see that just by attacking and destroying black's pawn shield here, by at first sacrificing the bishop here on f6 and then bringing all of the pieces there, we managed to win the game. So white managed to win the game and to achieve a victory in this very interesting battle. So if we quickly take a look at the attacks on the king when both of the chess players, both of the armies have castled on different wings and sides of the chessboard, then it's pretty simple here too. Just that the fight could become pretty more spicy and interesting. In most of the cases, both armies would just try to open up files on the side of the chessboard on which the opponent's king is located, trying to get through there and to control their more chess squares, just to attack the opponent's king. So this was it in audio with this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, leave a like, and write down there in the comments about which other, or which should be the next chess piece, about which I should do the video where I explain the role of it. Till next time, bye!